Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Thursday, December 22nd, 2017. It's even Friday, December 22nd, 2017 in some areas. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin was down 16.06% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 13,106, a high of 15,661, and a low of 10,910. That's $1 for 7,577 Satoshis, far away from our dreams of breaking the 5,000 Satoshi barrier. Our top story today, according to Twitter and others on Twitter, it may be possible, but Coinbase has a problem. Just to explain it in a non-technical manner, according to Trace Meyer and Laurent MT on Twitter, Coinbase has a wallet with 1,465,196 UTXOs for 265 Bitcoins, revealing a failure to batch transactions, consolidate UTXOs, and use SegWit. To explain this in a less technical manner, it may be possible that Coinbase has stored their Bitcoin in a way where it would cost more money to gain access to their Bitcoin than the value of their Bitcoin. It's a little confusing to understand, I know. A little bit more from Laurent MT, who wrote an article about this, or at least wrote a series of Twitter posts yesterday, 2 days ago. They say there's a wallet, and it's the same one that Trace is talking about. With Bitcoin at 15.8, the wallet is worth $3.2 million, with an average UTXO value of $2.20, meaning that to get the money out, you'd have to multiply the 220 by the 1.4 million, get around $2.8 million in transaction fees for the 3.2 million in cash. So you would only get 0.4. You'd get around $400,000 for your 3.2 million. This is disastrous if it's true. This is a complex way for an exchange to go down. Just to cover the quick history for those of you who aren't here, with Mt. Gox, they claimed they were hacked. They claimed they poorly saved their cold storage and that their money was separated from them. So standard hack. Cryptsy claimed that they were by a Lucky 7 wallet that they installed on their system that was actually a Trojan horse. Many people believe these exchanges and other exchanges could be inside jobs. But this is the first time that an exchange would be hacked from within. This is a possibility of complete incompetence on their part, failure of fiduciary duty, failure to hold their customers' funds. And this may explain why Coinbase is so desperate to start altcoin trading. We saw this in the past with other exchanges like Mt. Gox, where there's this idea that if you could just keep the business running, you'll earn enough in fees and profit that you'll be able to cover the losses, whether the losses were due to hackers, incompetence, inside jobs, or just bad management. No one knows. But this is the situation right now. The story is developing. This may be why Coinbase is against segregated witness. This may be why they're so in favor of Bcash. This might explain the entire Coinbase situation. We're also seeing in the chat that they say Roger Ver says Coinbase is solvent. It's always a good sign. Huge sneeze there. Apologies. But moving on, Coinbase is offline, not just the Bcash buys and sells, but according to this, we're seeing that the entire Coinbase system, presumably GDAX as well, is offline. Story developing. Sorry about the sneeze there. Let's see. Bitcoin lost a third of its value in 24 hours, according to CNN. The facts are true, but there's no reason to give up. Bitcoin sell-off could spark a market contagion, analyst warns. And again, the Financial Times, nightmare. Bitcoin enthusiasts react to digital currencies tumble. But once again, Bitcoin obituaries. Bitcoin has died 217 times. Excuse me. Let's look at some of these recent deaths. Russia and China will engineer the Bitcoin apocalypse. Real life Wolf of Wall Street slams Bitcoin as a huge, gigantic scam. Seth Klarman calls Bitcoin a trading sardine, and others say that it's speculative mania. Bitcoin buyers should be prepared to lose all their money. Oh no, Bitcoin failing as a currency. Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme. Its success could be its downfall. It just keeps going. There's over 207 of the 17 of these thanks to 99bitcoins.com. Two factions of Bitcoin investors are now at war with each other. Business Insider is starting to figure out that it's a lot more than just price speculation. There may be much, much more. It's clear by now that the entire crypto market is in a massive retracement. People who made money on Bitcoin are now selling out while newer buyers are taking losses. I'm not sure about that. The two factions of, oh, this is disappointing. They're saying that it's the two factions are the new investors and the old investors. I kind of thought this article was about Bitcoin Cash. All right, got some allergies this morning, but we're going to make it through. So just again to remind you, what does a dip look like? How painful can these Bitcoin dips be? Well, let's go way back in time to the rise to 250. One of the events that drew me into Bitcoin, I was sitting on the sidelines saying, "Oh, it's great that the internet has internet money, and I think Bitcoin is cool." But I just didn't know much about it, hadn't bought any. But then it spiked to 250. You can see it on the chart right here, the pointer. That little red dot is all that's left of our 250 spike. If you look right here, about 6 months to a year later, it rose up to 1200, and incredible rise, really dramatic for all of us in Bitcoin. A lot of celebrations and parties. Even if you only had a couple of Bitcoin, it was still really amazing to see it rise this much. Then we saw the fall. Then we saw the hard years, all these years in between where Bitcoin was flat in the 200, 300s. Very painful for those of you who bought at 800. But then it rose again. So it has been true in the past. Every time Bitcoin dips, every time Bitcoin crashes, it comes back. There was a little tweet that was going around recently where they said, if you bought at $300, you still would have made profit when it went to 1,200. If you bought at $1,200, you still would have made profit when it went to 10,000. If you bought at 10,000, you'd still make profit at 19,000. Now what we have to do is we have to wait for those people that bought at 19,000. They just have to wait. According to the past, they'll make profit at Bitcoin 25,000. You might have to wait. I don't know. It still doesn't look that far down to me. We see we've caught the knife here if we zoom in a little bit more. But I'd say you have to wait at least 6 months to a year maybe to get your profit from if you bought at Bitcoin 19,000, which again would be a very, very high buy. But again, just hold. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and just wait. If you're not feeling well, there's lots of people you can contact. Reach out, maybe not on Twitter, but if you reach out to some of the hotlines, they can help you out. There's no reason to give up over this. There was a story on Twitter where a guy had mortgaged his house, $75,000 investment into Bitcoin. And of course, with a 30% haircut, he was down to $50,000, and he was freaking out. Naturally, as hard as it may be, you've made your investment, you've made your choice, you've made your decision. Now give it a chance. If you were going to give up on your investment, if it went up 30%, if you were going to give up because it went down 30%, it wasn't a very good investment. If you really thought about Bitcoin, if you thought about what you're buying and the value of it, you would know that you could hold through this and you could wait. And also, if you were jealous of all the people that made lots of money on Bitcoin, remember, they've been holding for years. They've been holding for years, and they've been waiting. And that's what led them to make money. So if you do the same thing, you'll likely be okay. I'd like to open this up for questions from the chat. Anybody have a question or really good comment? I'm going to look through. They say Bitcoin's still higher than it was on December 1st. Sounds like Captain James had a rough night. He said, "Last night it felt like being thrown into a cage full of lions. I just hid in the corner." Apparently, Jimmy's having some sneezes as well, so hope Jimmy's feeling better. It's a tough season. A lot of allergies, a lot of sneezes going around. Usually, I take my allergy pills. It helps a lot. Let's see. People are being have their messages held for review. Just to let you know, YouTube has a little bit more of a censorship type vibe now. It'll hold your message if you curse. Come back in 3 months. The price will rebound by then. We Smoke Bitcoin says we're going to 100K in 2018. And they say, is that what Coinbase is doing? Well, remember, Coinbase is in a complicated situation. Whether or not this is true with the fractional reserve and the UTXO problem, whether it's more widespread than just a few accounts, we don't know. We also don't know if their current problem is just a server issue from an increase of demand. While you all know we have high demand when the Bitcoin price is going up, we also have high demand while the Bitcoin price is going down, with people trying to panic sell and get out, and a couple of smart people sneaking in to buy the bottom and buy the dips. So we don't know what Coinbase is doing. What is fractional reserve? Fractional reserve is where you, like, let's say when they started out with trading gold, everyone was trading gold bars, and it was very heavy and it was very difficult. And even then, they would shave edges off your gold bars, and they needed rounded edges and all kinds of things later on. But one of the things they did is they said, hey, instead of holding these heavy gold bars, let's hold gold tickets. And you come and I'll hold on to your gold bar. It's heavy, and give you a gold ticket. And you can take it around and trade it with people, and they'll value it as gold. But the problem is they invariably build or they print more tickets than they have gold bars. In this situation, people would be saying that Coinbase owes people more Bitcoin than they have Bitcoin. Although in their situation, if this is true, again, this is all speculation based on Twitter. I'm gonna blow my nose again, I think. Sorry. But according to the speculation on Twitter, the speculation is that Coinbase does have the Bitcoin. If they owed, for example, 200 Bitcoin, they have 200 Bitcoin. But according to this story, because of the way they've stored their Bitcoin, it would cost them more to access it. It's a complicated problem. So in a way, they have the funds, but in a way, they don't have the funds. They say, is it a good idea to buy right now? It depends. If it's your first time hearing about Bitcoin, it's always a good idea to buy. Your first buy will always be your cheapest. You'll always wish that you bought more. I put down 1. I wish I put down 10. But as far as right now, if you buy in the middle of this, it might go down more. You'll experience some pain. No one knows where the bottoms are. No one knows where the tops are. Everyone tries to figure it out, and they use charting and other technologies and inside information and all these things to try to figure out the tops and the bottoms, but no one really knows. The best strategy, if you're feeling it right now, let's assume that you have $2,000 to invest. You could put 1,000 of it in as a 50% on your investment, put 50% in now, then put the other 1,000 in by buying $100, say $100 a week or $100 a day. Depends how you feel. I strongly suggest setting a recurring buy. I know we're not fans of Coinbase and they're broken right now, but I'm sure maybe somebody else has that service as well, where you can do a recurring buy of like $10 a week or $100 a week. And that's really what I suggest for new people, how to buy Bitcoin. You dollar cost average. The price is up one week, you buy $100. The price is down the next week, you buy $100. You don't have to worry about it as much. Hopefully you don't watch it as much. A problem with a lot of new people is they get into Bitcoin and they have $100 in Bitcoin and they watch the charts more than their $100 is worth. They watch their chart and their $100 goes to 84 and it goes to 120 and it goes back to 84 and they freak out the whole time. So I suggest not doing that, as difficult as it may be. Many of us are unfamiliar to stocks, not used to having our money in anything other than a savings account that goes up a few bucks a year. To see it go up so much and then to see it lose so much can be very dramatic. But remember, if you've got a job, if you've got income coming in, you don't need to look at your investments all the time. A watched pot never boils. and there's no reason to just watch it, as hard as that may be. That's a lesson we all have to learn. Let's see. Going down, everyone says, "Hi, mom. Take a winter sleep, get some rest." All right, so we've got Chris Priest. Thanks so much for the super chat, $5. He says, mention BIP 131, which was written by a core developer that fixes Coinbase's fee problem. I'm not sure what BIP 131 is. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to assume that it might be replaced by fee. Maybe Coinbase could do a replace by fee transaction here. Looking up on the Bitcoin wiki, they call it a coalescing transaction specification. Author Chris Priest. Hey, how about that? Thanks so much, Chris, for contributing to Bitcoin. So I'm just reading about this right now. I don't know very much about this BIP. I hope it can help Coinbase. I'm not rooting against Coinbase here. If they have locked their funds in a wallet like this, it's a tragedy for them. It's a tragedy for their users. And I hope that they'll be able to get some of it back. So hopefully they'll check out BIP 131. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to grasp it right here on the air, but let's see. There's an abstract. Because small inputs are expensive to spend, they remain in the UTXO pool, which have full nodes to keep it around. It's believed that the long-term increase of the UTXO set can have negative scaling consequences on the network. So it sounds like this could help Coinbase. Once again, the irony of Coinbase, who wants to do everything on their own and have total control of the developers, that they would be saved by the open source development process, is incredibly ironic to me. But thanks, Chris, for sending that in. I hope that Coinbase is listening. I hope they take a look at that. Name one project built on Bcash. Well, you can buy Bitmain miners with Bcash. Not sure that's a project, but in the same sense of the challenge, I'd say name a project based on Ethereum Classic. That thing has incredible value and seemingly a large developer community being helped by Barry Silbert et al. Interesting projects. They're saying, QWERTY says, the market was pumped into Bitcoin Cash because Roger Ver, owner of Bitcoin.com, is the maker of Bitcoin Cash and dislikes Bitcoin. He was on CNBC and he pumped Bcash. That could be part of our problem here. We are seeing it is possible. Remember, if you didn't like Bitcoin, you could sell all your Bitcoin and you could buy lots of Bitcoin Cash. And if you had enough money, people speculate that Roger has $500 million to $1 billion. If you were willing to sell some of that or to do that, that would work. See, Pedro has a nice answer question. He says, Thomas, what did you wish for this Christmas? Well, I was traveling recently, so I definitely wished for safe travels. It was really fun to see the world. I hadn't really been out that much, so Europe was kind of a new thing to me. So it was great to meet all the people, and everyone was so nice to me. I'm just thankful for all the people I met in Europe and all the beds and the couches that I was able to crash on. That really helped me out during my trip, and I got to see so many museums and castles and paintings and statues, just things I'd always wanted to say. So I think that was fun. If there's something you've always wanted to do, my wish is that you'll do it in the new year. And one of the things about Bitcoin, and I don't have a lot of money. I don't need a lot of money. A lot of people are happy that way. But when you do get some extra money, you can do the things that you wanted to do. And sometimes it's small things like buy a PlayStation 4 so that you can play No Man's Sky and Battlefield and all the Star Wars games. Other times it's larger things like get a plane ticket to Paris and see what Paris is like. And whatever your dreams are, I hope that you'll accomplish them. I've been very fortunate here. I had a little bit of Bitcoin, bought a new microphone here, obviously, a new microphone arm, little microphone box, got a laptop. I've been really fortunate. I can't complain at all. They say the Gemini reference. Yes, it is the twins. It's run by the Winklevi. Gemini is one of the exchanges many are suggesting over Coinbase, as we're disagreeing with Coinbase lately. Pedro hopes I visited Portugal. I almost did. I almost got to go to Portugal. They had the Web Summit out there, and I was invited by BTC.com to join them at the Web Summit. But I was tired of traveling and just wanted to stay in one place for a little while by that point. But I would like to go to Portugal. I have relatives out there, second cousins and such. So that would be super fun for me. Uh, they say Ripple and Stellar price is irrelevant to bank adoption because they do not have to use Ripple or Stellar to use the network. That may be true. A lot of people are into Ripple. They have a lot of bank contracts. Ripple for a long time has been kind of a centralized pro bank cryptocurrency, a little different than the other ones. Ripple was one of the ideas where banks could move their money behind the scenes offline with Ripple. I think that was the original idea. Stellar has changed a whole lot lately and now seems to be doing a platform for ICOs. I don't know much about it, but I have seen, what would go for positive news. I saw that the guy from Kin and Kick was moving his operations over from Ethereum to Stellar, claiming that Ethereum was slow like a dial-up network. And I also saw that Moxie, the guy that created Signal, was starting a new cryptocurrency on Stellar. Again, I don't know anything about these things. It could just be another platform, another flight in the night. But we have seen Stellar and Ripple go up quite a lot. They say Bcash is down 100%. That's a lot. See if we can find that. Well, I'm not sure about 100%, but we are seeing Bcash down 22% to $2,516. Ethereum is down 20% as well to $644. Let's see if I could scroll a little bit here. Ripple down 7%, Litecoin down 20%, Cardano down 20%, Dash down 19%, IOTA down 41%. That's a big drop. NEM down 15%, Monero down 22%. We've got nothing but red pretty much across the entire board. There, a little bit of up, something called Santiment Networks. Never heard of it, but that's the only thing up on my board here. Agorist tokens, never heard of it, up 93%. We're getting pretty low here. We're near the hundreds. Burst at 65% up. They're saying Bitcoin Cash is gone from Coinbase. They're saying it's at zero on Coinbase. Remember, even during the crash, when Bitcoin Cash was at $9,500, the GDAX ticker kept scrolling and kept advertising the price, even though the markets were closed. Very strange from Coinbase. They're saying at a $0, Bcash is a good deal. Might be a different price in Canada, though. Not sure about that. But I'm just going to move this chat out of the way. And unless I see a really good question, they're saying John McAfee endorsed Burst this morning. That's why it's up 65%. I did see his message on Twitter. He's going to ride about 1,000 altcoins for the next 1,000 days. That sounds like a lot of fun. John McAfee, enjoy that. Let's see. They will buy all of your Bcash at zero. If Bitcoin falls, what will happen to Ripple? Well, as we've seen recently, Bitcoin was way up. The alts were down. Then the alts drove up. Then Bitcoin went down. Then the alts followed. So it's possible that the alts are just following Bitcoin. But yeah, give us a like and a share. I'm going to turn this off soon so I can blow my nose. We're going to try to work on getting some people together for the Bitcoin group later today, but it's harder and harder because the holiday season and a lot of people are on vacation. But I'll see what I can do. Give us a like and a share. Be sure to subscribe down below. And until next time, bye-bye.